So as I'm pedaling, I'm using 3 energy systems. First is my aerobic system. It takes oxygen in to burn either fat or sugar. If I go a little bit faster, I need more energy than I can consume oxygen. So I start to use my lactate system. That burns only sugar and cannot burn fat. This is because this system outputs something called lactate that creates hydrogen ions in my blood and muscles that changes my pH. So if I were to keep going indefinitely without giving in to fatigue, the pH difference would actually kill me. To prevent that from happening, my body has a bunch of mechanisms in place, the collective of which we call fatigue. At some point, the hydrogen ions will build up so much that the electrical impulse from my brain to the muscle will be short-circuited and my muscles won't even fire. This will prevent my pH levels from going so wacky that it would kill me. Right now, I'm using a good mix of my aerobic system and my lactate system. It's rather hard for me to keep the conversation. You would say I'm in my zone 3 at this point because it's becoming very hard for me to talk. There's one more system that can be used beside your aerobic and anaerobic lactate system. This is your phosphocreatine system, and it's really used for very short, powerful bursts. It gets depleted after about 10 seconds, and then it's just kind of gone until it recharges. It doesn't produce lactate. It doesn't make you sore. It just depletes like a fast battery. So if I put this on heavy right now and I go from a standstill to an all-out sprint, this uses the phosphocreatine in the first 10 seconds. And then when that runs out, it's using a mix of my aerobic oxygen engine and my lactate engine. Your VO2 max is kind of like taking all that measure of all of that power of your phosphocreatine, lactic, and aerobic and subtracting the power of the phosphocreatine and lactic system, keeping only a measure of your aerobic system. You can measure VO2 by putting a mask on me, measuring the amount of oxygen going through the inhale minus the amount of oxygen through the exhale, knowing that that's the oxygen that went into my lungs and blood and that gets turned into wattage used for the bike. So it's a measure of oxygen uptake, but it's also directly proportional to power output, isolating the aerobic system from the other 2 energy systems.